Hello, welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. I'm Thomas and today you join me with this all-new model, the MG S5 EV. This is an all-electric compact SUV designed to replace the MG ZS EV. However, this is built on the modular MG platform shared with things like the MG4. So inside you're going to experience a whole new interior, longer wheelbase, a little bit chunkier and a more modern style up front. Now, what you're going to notice in today's car is the fact that it's got the MG Cyberstar grille down below. They've taken design details from the flagship MG Cyberstar, as well as things like the aero. We've got real air vents round the side of the front bumper here. And overall, the front aesthetic is very sleek and aerodynamic. You can see you've got these fin headlights up front, which are your daytime running lights, as the main beam headlights are built into this design down here. Now, we do have the MG badge prompt and centre, as well as a very visible 360 camera, because this particular model is the trophy trim. And while I'm talking about the trophy trim, this car is finished in Piccadilly blue, which was an MG5 colour, but I think it looks absolutely fantastic on this car. Really, accentuates the lines and design. I think it looks really crisp and rather handsome. Probably if I was getting this, I'd go for the Piccadilly blue myself. So around the side here, we do have 18-inch rotor style alloy wheels, which are real alloys. You can give them a pull. There's no aero covers on these. And around the side here is your charge flap, where you've got your rapid charging and your regular home charging, like so. Now, round the rear of the car is where things are going to get exciting and new and fresh. Now, MG, first of all, say these lights are checkerboard pattern. However, if you look closely, you tell me what you see if you look at it like that. Do you see an eye, nose, and a little smiley face with a little kind of hat going on? Comment below and let me know. Now, overall, the rear design of the car kind of looks a little bit Germanic to me. I'm getting hints of like Volkswagen T-Cross or T-Roc going across here. And yeah, overall, pretty standard 2026 SUV back here. Being electric, obviously with no exhaust pipes down here. We do have your parking sensors, and this car is equipped with an intelligent rear tailgate. So, one kick, and it opens up to give you 453 litres of boot space, which is a pretty decent size. Now, what you can do is you can lift this floor out and raise it. So if you did want to have things loaded in, you're able to just go in and load it like so. You can split it like that. It's quite a configurable bit of area, as well as a fixed parcel shelf, which is quite nice. It's not flimsy, like material, it's quite solid. And then again, you can store that underneath if you wanted, or you can, configure it any way you want. The seats are 60-40 split, which gives you about 1,400 litres of boot space with those seats folded down. Now, to fold the rear seats, there's no button or anything back here. You do have to go around to the side of the car and pull the lever down. But the seats do fold pretty flat once they are folded down, which is quite nice, and it gives you little tether hooks as well for your child seats when you're in the back of the car. But overall, a decent size. It is lined with kind of a carpeted material, so things are going to be not running around getting scratched up back there. And as I said, the load height's quite a nice, just easy access to get in and shove things into the back of the car. Now, tailgate does automatically close on the trophy model with a touch of a button, like so. All right, you join me in the cabin up front in the MG S5. Now, the first thing I took away is this car was very well built and solid feeling. Maybe gone are the MGs of old in the last 10 years, but everything feels like quite solidly assembled. You're feeling and pushing stuff. Everything feels kind of like well built. That's not even shaking at all. And there's more expensive cars that I've been in that feel a little bit more flimsy. So MG have done really well with this S5 model. So MG have listened to the customers, and we now have buttons integrated into the dashboard here. So things like your fan speed can be controlled and your temperature, all with the physical buttons here. You've got hazards, defrost, etc., which is nice to see. A little bit of buttons coming back into the cabin. And I really like these ways to turn the air vents off. They've got a nice little tactile motion, turning them left and right. I wasn't expecting that in an MG product, especially one at this price point as well. And yeah, it's got a nice little feel to it, so that's got a nice design feature. We do have two cup holders with little kind of rubber grips in them. This is all soft and squidgy here, and we've got like an Alcantara style around the gear selector in the middle here. This is where you put your phone, so it's a wireless phone charger, or you can sit your phone in this little cradle here. We also do have electronic parking brake, And then under the centre armrest here, we do have USB chargers as well as a 12-volt power outlet. It has got a rubberised material at the bottom, but it's just soft plastic on the interior of that trim. And this is kind of that leather style material that you see in the seats. Now, it would not be a Cars of Glasgow video without a glove box reveal. Softly damped, not lined with fuzzy stuff, but it's an alright size. It's going to get a bit of a decent bit of storage inside there. Now, the dash of the car, this one has got the soft grey material. The material right at the top is this slightly harder plastic, but all this that you're going to see and feel, MG have done their best to give it like a nice soft touch vinyl material. We've got this kind of faux carbon fibre effect running across the doors into the centre of the dash there. So underneath where the gear selector is, we do have some storage. This is quite a nice little use of space because you've got this kind of floating design here, and you can maybe put things like bags or extra bits of luggage if you're doing a road trip or something like that. Can all live inside there. So the seats in the car are pretty comfortable. You just kind of get into it and you squish into position. It's got a nice kind of foam and padding into the seats, and you can wiggle yourself around. I am 5'11", plenty of headroom, shoulder room, and they are electric, so I can get myself comfortably adjusted, as well as the steering wheel having reach and rake adjustment, which you do not see in every MG model. Now on the door cards here, we do have your door locks, physical manual door opener, and then we do have all around electric windows, as well as nice soft vinyl stitching on the side of the door here. Decent sized door bin, which you can fit a bottle of water or something, and yeah, overall not too bad use of space. Now talking about the seats, they have got a nice blend of material. We do have the leather style material in the exterior, and then the interior is this grey fabric material, and then in the centre you're going to notice the black trim here with kind of perforations in it. If you look closely, you're going to see it says MG over and over. We also have things up here like your rear view mirror with the dimming for so you don't get dazzled by lights at night. And up here's all your controls for your SOS and your passenger lights and reading lights. Got a little sun visor and a little mirror there. It does slide across, but does not pull for the sun. So this is the 12.8-inch touchscreen. It's quite fast and responsive, but one of my favourite things is here you can swipe down and hit that MG Pilot button, which means that it remembers what you've set the car up for, in terms of maybe turning off ADAS, your lane departure, your speed recognition. So you can go in and set that all up on the MG Pilot, save it, and then that means it's one touch every time you get in the car to turn that on and off. We do have things like heated seats and heated steering wheel, which is quite nice as well. And you've got your maps, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wireless as well as this wireless charger, which is all nice to see here in present. The MG S5 also has integrated apps, so you can put things on like your Spotify there, as you can see. And right now you can see as well with the range, 99% with 260 miles on this trophy long range. So you join me in the back of the MG S5. Now what you're going to notice, the seats are quite soft. When you get in, you kind of plump down into them, and I kind of angled a little bit like that, so you've got a little bit more, the knees are angled up. However, the floor is completely flat. MG have fitted thinner battery technology, and they've rotated the batteries a little bit, so you're not getting a high road floor in the back, which means you can sit in the middle back here, and you're going to be an adult, plenty of headroom, shoulder room, etc. Now I wanted to leave this down just to show you what it would look like if the seat was folded down, in case you want to carry longer items. But we do have your child seat anchor points down behind here, and overall, the quality in this trophy trim, it feels quite nice. It's got a nice kind of leather style material, and just like up front, we do have MG kind of perforated out into this material in the centre here, which is a neat touch. Some people might not even recognise, but once you've watched this video, you'll notice it says M&G over and over and over. I do have one USB charger back here, as well as two map pockets, and they're kind of lined with like a fuzzy stuff material, which means things in there are not going to get scratched around. Nice to see we do have door bins as well as a little grab handle and electric windows all round in this cabin. Alright, we're behind the wheel of the S5. Now I have popped it into sports mode just to see what it's like in comparison to around in normal all day. So I thought, why not pop it to sport just to see what this rear-wheel drive powerhouse can do. This is the trophy trim long range, which means it does have 170 kilowatts or roughly 227 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. And yeah, it feels pretty fast and responsive off the bat. You're pretty much hitting 30 miles per hour like within seconds. It's really rapid. The rear-wheel drive platform, it does provide an engaging drive. It's got a bit of weight to it. I've had the traction control off today as well, just to experience that. And although 99.9% of users are not going to do that, it does have a little bit of fun and flair to it. I can probably tell by me smiling. I'm like, this is a good drive. This car does have a little bit of je ne suis quoi. I know that's French, but just a bit of a bit of brute power when you're putting the foot down. Not overly much, it's not a high performance car by any stretch of means, but it's definitely got enough to put a smile on your face, especially on a nice sunny-ish Friday afternoon. Now, top speed of this car is 101 miles per hour. Now, I don't know if that's limited or just because electric cars typically don't like to be reaching that, but I can't imagine you want to be doing over 100 miles per hour in your family crossover. What you do want to know is what it's like to drive in the real world, in the town. So I am in a real town in Scotland, going round a real mini-bout, and I made quick and easy work of that roundabout. We're just going to go past a petrol station. Fuel, for anybody curious, at time of watching is 132.9 for unleaded and 139.9 for diesel per litre. If you're watching in the States, it's not a gallon, it's per litre. Now, back to the car. We do have this kind of octagonal steering wheel, which I have got used to driving a few MGs now. If you're coming at a conventional car with a round steering wheel, it'll probably take you a moment to get used to it, because it's got a pretty flat top and bottom, and the sides have kind of like a squidged in circle. It's an unusual shape at first, but you get used to it and your hands rest about 10 and 2 position. They've got a little bit of bolstering there, kind of got that leather style material going around it. Buttons on the steering wheel, you can control things like your 360 camera. Touch of a button, you've got your voice. You control the little 10-inch screen in front of me here to cycle through things like your kilowatts per hour, etc. I'm getting about 4 miles per kilowatt at the moment, and that is in kind of my mixed driving wheel testing today. You can get obviously a little bit more. And my range when I started with was about 250 miles out of full charge. But they do claim for the SE long range about 400-ish miles in city driving. Combined driving, when you're including motorway and higher speeds, the range is going to drop, so that's why I'm looking at about 250. But if you were just
the speed limit is 30 miles per hour.
It's not. I've just passed a sign to say it's national speed limit. So 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! This car is a lot more fun for a crossover than I thought it was going to be coming into this day for the video. I was excited to drive a new product, and I'm now excited to be driving this on a country B road. That rear-wheel drive platform is quite engaging. You're sitting up high, the steering's got a little bit of weight to it, and I don't know if it's because I've artificially put it into sports mode. Yeah, power and steering and drive mode are all in sport, so we're going to be maximising my fun around the corners. If you enjoy driving and you enjoy electric vehicles, I think you should shortlist this. This is £34,000, so you think what electric cars you can get for £34,000, haul your family, get 360 cameras, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, sat-nav, heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's a lot going for this car, and it's expensive but not super expensive in the world that a lot of cars are, over £40,000 for meh cars. This has got a little bit of oomph to it. Now this is the trophy trim, so that is the £33,000 one. I have not driven a base SE with less power and a smaller battery pack, so that might not be providing the same smile that you're seeing today. But if you can afford it, or maybe it's on a company car list or something, why not get this trophy trim. It's so much fun. And there's an A2 in front of me. So I just want to say thanks very much to Frasers of MG of Falkirk for loaning me today's car for this video. If you do like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Go check those guys out if you're in the market for an MG, and I will see you next video. Ciao.